I have wanted to be a writer for as long as I could remember. When I was younger, I would read a lot of books, so my imagination was always running wild. I would create a lot of stories based on the Warrior Cat series, where I would just write a lot of crazy stories about cats because that is the thing that I read the most. It absolutely shocked me to find out that Aaron Hunter was actually not a real author in a group of people, but whatever, that's fine. I have always told people that I wanted to be a writer. Writing has just been a creative outlet for me. But for a long time, it has been a very private thing. I've never really shared my writing. Whenever I did, it felt weird. Writing to me was such like an open heart surgery kind of process. Sharing it with other people was just unnatural. But I'm in college and I finally signed up for a creative writing class. And today I am going to share with you my first draft that I shared for this creative writing class and also what some of the other people thought of my work. It was very scary. I did not like workshopping it. My anxiety was on a high. Just reading it out loud in front of that class actually made me so nervous because I think it was like the first time I was reading something that I wrote that people knew that I wrote. That wasn't like a presentation for a grade or anything. Like, this is what I wanted to put down on paper and tell people. And I was putting myself out there so that they could judge me. But it's easier to do this in front of a camera. So I'm gonna go ahead and read the first draft that I wrote for this creative writing class. Now, this is literally the roughest of the rough drafts. You will see in the writing that I am telling the audience that this is my first time writing it for this class, and feel free to judge it and critique it on your own time. This isn't perfect, but showing the non-important work so far, I hope I can like break the ice and ease my anxiety about releasing other projects in the future. I do want to be a writer, and a step towards doing that is to actually publish my work. But I'm gonna let you guys see the rough draft, and maybe I will polish it up and upload a finished draft in the future. But yeah, let's read. This is the first draft of a piece titled Ribbons on Trees. Feel free to follow along. The first draft of this essay was a memoir reflecting on cleaning up my late grandfather's apartment. It was a place that haunted me, and I thought a place with that much emotional weight was appropriate for the writing place class. However, as I wrote, the act of opening the tombstone felt incompatible with sharing. As someone says, we bring our layers with us. And why would I bring the layers from a home that was not my home, but someone else's home, and someone I did not like? So I would probably not like the layers. And you would probably not like the layers either. Anyways, I want to introduce you to a place where I learned to practice solitude. Unfortunately, like my grandfather's apartment, time has aged this place so what once was is no longer. However, I'm very fortunate to have experienced this place. The place I'm referring to is a woods trail behind my New Hampshire home. I was born amongst concrete, you know. And by concrete, I mean Connecticut. During my early years, I was surrounded by population density, traffic, and overall overstimulation. But it was fine. It was home. On my brother's 7th birthday, I held him as we cried together in the driveway of our now vacant house. Our parents packed all the furniture and threw away some too. They moved all our belongings into a bigger house that had gaps and wide spaces because we only owned furniture for a small house. New Hampshire has no potholes or billboards. I didn't sleep my first week there. I would sit at the windowsill and wait to see someone pass by. There are no streetlights in New Hampshire, but at least the cars have headlights. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's only been an hour, and I've only seen 4 cars. No one lives here. I'm alone in the universe, I concluded. My mom daydreams of putting a pool in the backyard. She finally has the space to desire such a thing. I sit on my ass in the yard and pluck grass at her premature fantasy. My mom calls for me to come inside for dinner. She stares at my backside while I quietly protest the act of being here. 1 grass plucked at a time. My parents feel bad. My parents don't know what to do. Their daughter is alone and cannot cope. Their daughter just got her period, and she's freaking out about it. And there are no potholes or billboards or streetlights in New Hampshire. So, they gave me a puppy. Daisy is loud. She barks at everything. My family says no sternly to her. She stares for a second, then barks again. I know I'm Daisy's favorite. When I tell her no, she stops barking. But I rarely ask her to stop. At night, we cuddle in my bed, and I hug my parents' pity present and whisper to her, thank you. The dreadful day has come. Daisy's grounds for peeing and pooping are limited as a bunch of men come up, digging out the ground. We watch from the window. I look into Daisy's eyes, and she asks me, where will I run? Before the pool is finished, I'm throwing her baseball around the yard. I'm trying to avoid all the equipment. I misjudge my aim and toss the ball into the woods. Daisy barks at it. I go to retrieve it. Why is my dog a golden retriever? And like a movie, I see something out of the corner of my eye. I push past the foliage. Daisy barks at me. I plead for her to come with me. With reluctance, she follows. It was a bridge connecting the base of my yard to the forest beyond. I knew there was a river as I heard water flowing, but I never looked past the dense trees. Tense trees. That's funny. Typo. It's supposed to be dense trees. Anyway, my bedroom window looks out onto the street, not the forest. Daisy and I carve a path towards the bridge. It takes years. My shoes, her paws, along with the help of seasons changing and some weed whackers from my father, crush the weeds and ferns and ivy until only solid ground remains for us to explore. My neighbor, who built the bridge, helps our journey in the background. We follow his old dirt bike trail to find new streams, new foliage, new paths. One day we follow his trail to a large open field. I go on Google Earth to understand this field stretches for half a mile. Daisy and I like this field. So does my neighbor, as his dirt bike tracks rarely go elsewhere. My legs are still too little, and so are Daisy's, to explore the whole field. It takes us 3 years to finally make it to the end. Although it feels like we're walking on Mars, beer cans, cigarette butts, used condoms, and ribbons tied to trees reminds us we're walking amongst people we cannot see. I leave Daisy after the town recognizes the trail as a public protected space. My neighbor puts up signs at the base of the bridge. Private property, no trespassing, dead end. People still get confused and try to walk to our house. I get mad that people can't read. UMass is filled with concrete. I choose to live in a Southwest dorm to pretend like I go to school in New York City. Bad choice. I switch to Central. It's more quiet, but not that quiet. I miss Daisy. My mom says she has arthritis and sits weirdly on her left leg. I ask my mom if she's been taking Daisy on walks. My mom says it's too painful for Daisy to move. I wonder if the pain never would have happened if I stayed. I came home for holiday, and Daisy barks at the door. I'm so easy to persuade. Daisy heads towards the trail, carefully maneuvering between the overgrown bush and weeds. She stops, and I follow her gaze to see my neighbor sitting on the bridge with a Bud Light in his hand to mark a peaceful morning. He acknowledges us approaching. I wonder if he ever got mad that Daisy and I made his trail public. He doesn't know how grateful I am for him. Be careful out there, he tells me. I heard gunshots earlier. There's hunters out there. I point at my yellow reflective vest, not necessary until 2 years ago. Don't worry, I got this. I wasn't worried about you. I was referring to her. He points to Daisy, but she walks past him, limping towards the forest as if nobody ever said a thing. Parentheses. Sorry this is so long. I probably should have just submitted the piece of my grandfather's apartment, but that was also just as long, so I guess I'm doomed to write 1,000 words at a time. As you can see from the beginning and the ending, I made it clear that this was an assignment for class. The writing place that I referred to in the first paragraph has to do with the fact that our class for creative writing is called the writing place. There's themes for like intro to creative writing, so that is the theme that my teacher had chosen. And then at the end, I did a little parentheses because our word counts are supposed to be 500 to 1,000 words. And I just felt bad because every single week we have to read like 5 classmates' material. And I felt bad for submitting something that was like 1,000 words. But my next assignment that I have to submit for everyone is going to be less than 1,000 words. Okay, that took longer than I thought it was going to. But now you know what I submitted and shared with about 20 people. As I said in the essay, I had an original plan where I was going to write about my grandfather's apartment. By the way, this was... The assignment was nonfiction, which basically means like a lot of people wrote about their own life, and this is a true life story. Although, fun fact, my mom never got a pool. I made that up to exaggerate, but my mom has always wanted a pool. Reading it out loud, this is the first time I read it out loud. I didn't read it out loud at my workshop. I definitely see the issues that I have with it. It's definitely not my most favorite thing that I have written. My teacher also asked if I was proud of this work, and I hilariously said no in the middle of class, and she was surprised because I was like, oh, I really hate like submitting things. Like I just have to close my eyes and submit it and be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe people are going to read this. In the workshop, I think that people really liked it overall. I had some nice feedback. A lot of people had issues with my grammar, which is totally fine. I'm really, really bad with grammar, but I thought it'd be fun maybe to like go over what some people thought, and maybe you can also form your own opinion. But yeah, I just sat down and I just wrote my life story, my coming of age story as I moved from Connecticut to New Hampshire to Massachusetts to go to college, and just how Daisy, the existence of her, my dog, this is her, isn't she so cute? And how she has helped me grow. One thing that really stuck out to me is that people really liked how I used the passage of time, which was cool. Also, by the way, like, I am not any English major. I am getting a Bachelor of Arts, but my major is political science. So, like, I know how to read and write, but I really don't know, like, all, like, the literary techniques. In the creative writing class, we're reading, like, a lot of, like, I don't know, really abstract poetry and these cool readings. And I'm like, I feel really dumb because everyone always comes to class with these comments about things that I did not pick up on, which is like another insecurity that comes with writing, just feeling like I'm not good enough. I also don't have to be the next Emily Dickinson, or, you know, big author. This was what I was reading off of. And yeah, someone just said that I really had nice detail. They like the short sentences. It creates a nice tone. I was really proud of the tone, so that was cool. Really scary. I have to cover the top of this page because this person wrote their email, but at the top of the page they wrote, "Is this necessary?" for the entire first paragraph. It really isn't necessary. For you, it's probably so unnecessary. And then also when I said New Hampshire has no potholes or billboards, they call bullshit, which is kind of true. But in comparison to Connecticut, New Hampshire has way less potholes and billboards. People really liked "I'm Alone in the Universe." So I remember people liking that. A lot of people really liked "We're walking amongst people we cannot see." Very happy for that. This person said "Beautiful title" and loved when I got to this line in the piece. I love getting a little fun little title that's in the middle of a piece. That's really fun. Oh, I remember someone who had, like, kind of like my favorite writer in the class. They complimented on how I said we only owned furniture for a small house. When they said that, I was like, oh my gosh, thank you, because I thought that they were like one of the best writers in the class, so getting a compliment from them was really cool. This person says, "Love this piece. I really like the way you move through time in it," if that makes sense. It totally makes sense. "It feels very natural. I also really liked your quippy, dry tone, both funny and emotional." Love doing both. Someone did a lot of cute little doodles, which is really cute. Love how real / unfiltered this feels. Love being unfiltered. A lot of people like the "Why is my dog a golden retriever?" Very happy for that. A lot of people also were really confused when I transitioned to college because I really rushed that because I realized that I was getting to the 1,000 word count. And that was bad. Yeah, this person said, "Overall, I really liked your storytelling, but I would love for you to expand on the ending a little bit more. It seems abrupt. I can't talk." When I said, "Why is my dog a golden retriever?" someone wrote, "What do you mean?" I didn't say it before, but my dog is a golden retriever. That's really funny. Aw, sad face when I said that I left Daisy. Oh, also someone thought that I had, like, left my dog in the woods when I moved to college, which I was like, oh, no, that's not what I meant. That was really funny, though. This person wrote, okay, I realized that they wrote "can," but it looks like "come be improved." So felt really, really nice to finally show off my writing. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. It's just like a little fun video. I would never publish this because it's so messy and all over the place, but I guess I'm technically self-publishing it by releasing it on YouTube, maybe. I hope to write more creatively and work on some more fiction pieces. This kind of blends nonfiction and fiction and storytelling, and I really just want to hone my craft of writing. And I really want to follow my childhood dream of writing. I've been writing a lot more in my notebooks. This class has definitely helped me get my creative juices flowing. And yeah, if you'd like this video and you want to see more about my writing journey, then feel free to subscribe and comment, give me some ideas. Maybe we could do some fucking prompts together or something. I don't know. It would be fun. But yeah, thank you so much. I'm Pop Pink Fia, and if you subscribe, I'll love you forever. See you in the next one. Bye.